Hey, Raj Martin for Billings, Montana. This is a little clip from Fox News um, about Nancy Pelosi's and his lucrative travel. Last year, I think he said they spent $2 million on her travel. Here goes.
A massive travel bill with the U.S. Air Force. Over a 2-year period, she spent more than $2 million of your money on air.
On a 2-year period. So I don't know if that was the last 2 years or what. They're not specific on that period. But notice the source, Tom Fitton from Judicial Watch. That's a credible source, and he was talking about that earlier.
Air travel, 100,000 of which was in-flight expenses. That means food and booze.
How do you spend 100,000 on in-flight expenses? Over 100,000. You got to be kidding me. Nothing but party time.
For all those politicians for working so hard, like half the year. Thankfully, the president put the kibosh on her most recent overseas junket. And today, we did send Fox News contributor, our friend Lawrence Jones, to the streets of New York City to see what Americans really think about the radical, extreme, socialist, Democratic speaker, Nancy Pelosi, and her so-called leadership. Let's take a look.
Now, I'm not going to look at that. Some of these people were common sense in New York City, and other people were so liberal and off the wall that they made no sense, so we're not going to quote from them. Not worth your time. Found this an interesting article. Let's listen a bit.
That the storm is rolling right along. Trump told the mainstream media.
And notice the Group A, and this is one we're really, Group A and B, we're really concerned with. Q Army leading way, small government, we the people. Patriots still don't get Q. A and B is, A is important, B maybe. But A is important, very important, and we're seeing this group growing.
Media on October 5th, 2017, in case anyone.
October 10th, 2017. Now remember, this is October 10th, 2017 that he's quoting from.
One tries to sneak around, try to forget what's really happening. Yeah, you notice that? As time goes by, people think that you forget about the storm since Q is not dropping, so they try to change the narrative. Oh, what happened to Q? But it doesn't matter what any of these people say. October 5th, 2017, Trump told the demons in the mainstream media, look, this is the calm before the storm. And when they were all, oh, what do you mean, Trump? He said, you will find out. No.
You will find out, quote unquote. October 10th, 2017, a year and a half ago. Very interesting. So he's had this plan going even before he got elected. You wait and see. It's all going to come out in time.
Nothing has been the same ever since. Right there. And that is what is happening today in January of 2019. The storm is rolling right along. And we're going to see tonight, as usual, we have moves and counter moves. A lot is happening. Trump, the deal maker, is making deals. He is holding a lot of cards in his hands. And we have the mainstream media. The fake news media is being blown wide open this year, as we talked about yesterday. We're going to cover more of that.
Okay.
Trump is holding on to cards, lots of cards. He knows he can declare an emergency right now, a national emergency. He's choosing not to do that. He can have the State of the Union somewhere else right now. He's choosing not to do that.
Notice that he's choosing to do these different things, and he's getting advice from some better people in there. So there's reasons for this that we don't clearly understand.
Hillary went before FBI and wasn't sworn in. No tape, nothing. Yeah, so...
No, that's interesting. You didn't know that.
How embarrassing is that? And you know, how big is that, right? Michael Cohen, you know, we'll talk about that in a minute. And then Trump gives Trump some credit. And you could see where they're talking about Trump right over here. Well, let me see here. Oh, no, wait a minute. Okay, guys, this is a short article, and a day after Cohen postponed his voluntary testimony. Yeah, right, whatever. You know, they're making it sound like no big deal, right? Yeah, well, isn't that a coincidence, huh? That he's postponing his voluntary, supposedly.
Of course, this is AP and more fake news. More fake news, very liberal.
Now they're saying tonight 6 in 10 Americans blame Trump somehow.
Again, this fake media news and incorrect. This Philip, the Native American guy's got all these charges on him. The media's not covering any of it. Another part of the news is that this turmoil that is going around the world is not being talked about. Sweden bombing crisis, 4 explosions in 24 hours. January 23rd, 2019.
And where this whole lunacy began, we have bombing crisis, 4 explosions in 24 hours. Rest in peace, Sweden. This is what happens when you let in all these illegal immigrants. And you have kids launching global movements to force them to not even go to school because of climate change.
There is black ops technology out there beyond anything we know and understand. I know this is changing a little bit of the disclosure or difference between politics, but a lot of our monies went to black ops budgets.
Plasma-filled accelerator ring called a magnetic field disruptor. This technology, designed by the Sandia and Livermore laboratories, is so powerful that it was concealed entirely by the government, making it non-existent on paper. As you would expect, a lot of money goes into this research. A good amount of tax money pour into this project carried out at the notorious Area 51 Groom Lake Air Base in Nevada.
Here's another insider talking about the government having craft that does fit some of these descriptions.
When it unfolds in plain sight, even at the Groom Lake facility, not everyone knows about the operations. It took a while before people started noticing.
I am convinced, based on my research and the individuals whom I've had contact in the U.S. intelligence community, that the U.S. government does indeed have craft that meet the description of many of the UFO reports.
These UFO reports are still ongoing. A lot of them are not being reported on.
From a captain of the Belgian National Police spurred their military into action. On this day, this UFO was verified by a NATO radar installation and another one belonging to the Belgian military force. But it only took this remarkable aircraft a few seconds to outmaneuver them and break out of sight. It was reported that the UFO suddenly sped up and dropped its altitude in a way that would have been impossible for any man-made aircraft. This suggests that this UFO could have been remote-controlled from an external location. If you wonder how this UFO was able to bypass the ground radars, look no further than the MFD technology we mentioned earlier. This MFD ring surrounding the rotating crew compartment has this mercury-based plasma that is pressurized to 250,000 atmospheres at a temperature of 123.15 degrees Celsius. The result is a stunning superconducting plasma with 50,000 revolutions per minute, which would easily generate a magnetic field that reduces gravity by 89%. Please don't confuse this with the standard anti-gravity technology. This is far more powerful. While the anti-gravity technology literally pushes against the ground with a repulsive force which then lifts the aircraft up, this is more efficient. What the MFD does is to generate a magnetic vortex field. This is what neutralizes or disrupts the effects of gravity by 89% en masse within proximity. There is a reactive electrical system set on the outer coating of its fuselage to help absorb reflections from radar beams. This essentially helps it stay invisible, but it does even more. The polymer shell with the reactive coating can easily disguise such a huge aircraft as the TR-3B, making it look like just another tiny aircraft. It could also make it look like several airplanes flying together, giving an illusion of a false radar reading. This technology is also behind the extreme velocity and altitude this covert craft can achieve. A report published on darkgovernment.com made us know that this UFO can easily reach the altitude of 120,000 feet or 36,000 meters. The speed is purported to be around Mach 9. Let that sink in for a moment. That's almost 7,000 miles per hour, making it the fastest aircraft in the world. Why this was kept in the shadows is an intrigue we can only speculate on.
A craft going at 7,000 miles per hour. This has been documented on radars and other things. Yeah, this stuff goes on, and it's far greater than anything we can report on. I've studied this for too many years to know that there are projects out that are beyond even science fiction as we know it. Again, this is Roger Martin from Billings, Montana. Good day. I'm going to add this little piece here, and I'll fly into this. This is James Goodall. But he said that he's had 12 years at this Groom Lake, and he says one of the most interesting things he says out of this Nevada side is we have things out there that are literally out of this world, better than Star Trek or anything you see in the movies. Would not expand. I'm going to end it there. Things literally out of this world. So alien aircraft, alien technologies, we're back engineering all this and have been ever since, seriously since the second end of the Second World War. Again, this is Roger Martin from Billings, Montana. Good day.